Tears fell like autumn rain, washing away the facade of regret. In silence, I heard the whispers of my own heart, confessing a truth both beautiful and terrible. I'll do it all again. Now, brothers, I pleaded for a different truth, but I couldn't bring myself to utter the words. Tears pricked at the corners of my eyes as I shook my head. I'm sorry, brother, I whispered. If you're tempted to judge me, wait. If you lived my life, walk a mile in my shoes, you might find yourself making the same choices. All that event that led us to this confrontation started in Beijing, where we had gone for a business meeting. As we left the meeting and made our way to the party, the tension between us was palpable. My sister-in-law's eyes flashed with anger and hurt, a reminder that our conversation about ending our illicit intimacy still lingered. Her smile was strained as we entered the party together. My sister-in-law's outfit was stunning, a sleek black dress that hugged her calves in all the right places, which left my pulse quickening. It was clear she'd dressed to distract. We'd parted ways in the crowd, but my eyes betrayed me, constantly seeking her out. I couldn't help it. She was the woman I loved, and even in a room full of people, my heart belonged to her. A pang of unease shot through me as I watched the guy open the flat with my sister-in-law. His eyes roomed over her. The air seemed to vibrate with tension as the stranger's gaze devoured my sister-in-law. His eyes lingered on the curve of her neck, the swell of her lips, and I felt a surge of possessiveness. It was as if my sister-in-law was savoring the moment, her smile a subtle blend of innocence and manipulation. I felt a pang of uncertainty. Was she truly unaware of the guy's flirting? Or was she deliberately testing the boundaries of our complicated relationship? But I couldn't shake the feeling that she was secretly reveling in my discomfort. As I watched the stranger's hands brush against my sister-in-law's arm, a spark of possessiveness ignited within me. I pushed through the crowd, my heart pounding in my chest. You've had a little too much to drink, I said, my voice low and even, but my eyes locked on the stranger, wanting him to back off. I don't need a babysitter, she spat, her eyes flashing. But before she could take another step closer to the stranger, I reached out, my hands wrapping around her waist like a vice. I yanked her toward me, our lips colliding in a kiss that was both punishing and passionate. The world around us melted away, leaving only the two of us lost in the depths of our passion. Our lips moved in perfect sync, the kiss deepening, and for one fleeting instant, she was no longer my sister-in-law, but the love of my life. As we escaped the party, her hand in mine, I felt the weight of our forbidden attraction settling in. In the silence of our hotel room, she dropped her blazer, the sound of the fabric hitting the floor, a subtle reminder of the boundaries we were crossing. She seized my lips with a fierce intensity. Our kisses deepened, growing more frantic and uncontrolled. We were two people drowned in our desire, unable to stop even if we'd wanted to. Our lips still locked. I hastily unbuttoned my shirt, shed my trousers, and dropped my pants. Then I gently pushed her onto the bed and climbed on top of her. Time seemed to slow as we surrendered to our desire. In that instant, the forbidden nature of our love melted away, leaving only the thrum of desire and the warmth of connection. As I gazed into Abigail's eyes, I saw only my lover, not my sister-in-law. As we flew back home, our hands remained clasped, a tangible connection to the passion we shared. We walked hand in hand, reluctant to break the spell, but our carefree stroll came to an abrupt halt as my brother's imposing figure emerged from the crowd, his expression a thundercloud of disapproval. My brother's expression was a mask of rage, his eyes flashing with an anger I'd never seen before. I smiled, hoping to diffuse the tension, but his response was a harsh, stinging slap that left my cheek burning and heart reeling. "God, what are you doing?" Abigail cried, her words laced with dismay. She released her bag, letting it fall, and rushed to my side, her eyes brimming with concern. Locked into my cheek, her fingers hovering above the reddening skin. I stumbled alongside my brother, his grasp on my arm unyielding. Abigail's frantic voice trailed behind us. "Gabriel, stop! Have you lost your mind?" Her words were laced with fear and confusion. He tossed me into the car and sped away, leaving Abigail stranded. My mind reeled as I struggled to comprehend my brother's erratic behavior. As we pulled into the driveway, Abigail stepped out of an Uber behind us, her brow furrowed with concern, her eyes darting between me and my brother. As my brother dragged me into the house, I felt a chill run down my spine. His eyes had transformed into those of a stranger, cold and hard. With a sudden, savage motion, he hurled me into the house. I hit the ground with a jarring impact, pain shooting through my body. Dazed and disoriented, I stared at my brother, searching for a glimmer of recognition, but his face remained a mask of fury. Abigail rushed to my side, concern etched on her face, but before she could reach me, my brother shoved her away. I pushed through pain and caught her, holding her steady. My brother sneered. "How romantic," his voice dripping with sarcasm. Abigail's voice was still with outrage. "Have you lost your mind?" she exclaimed. My brother's smirk grew wider as he held out his phone, the screen glowing with a video that made my heart sink. Abigail and I kissing. The moment that had felt so right, now twisted and wrong. My eyes dropped, the weight of my mistake crushing me. Though I would do it again if given a second chance. My brother's words cut deep. "Cat got your tongue?" he taunted, his frustration growing as I remained silent. I couldn't bring myself to lie, to make excuses. Instead, I looked up at him, tears welling in my eyes. "I'm sorry, brother," I whispered, the words barely audible. The slap sent shockwaves through my face, and I stumbled backwards. Abigail rushed to my side, grasping my arm. "Gabriel, stop! Please!" she cried, her voice trembling. But my brother's fury was unstoppable. "I love her," she whispered, her eyes locked on mine. The words hung in air like a challenge, and my brother's expression turned glacial. In the moment, I saw the brother I loved disappear, replaced by a stranger consumed with rage. My brother's kicks rained down on me, each one a crushing blow. I coughed up blood, my vision blurring. Abigail's pleas were distant, a faint echo in my mind. "Stop, Gabriel, please," she begged. But he didn't stop, not until I felt my life slipping away. Then suddenly, the kick ceased. Abigail's arms wrapped around me, her tears falling on my face. "I love you," she whispered, her voice trembling. I summoned a painful smile, my fingers brushing against her cheek, and then darkness closed in. I emerged from the darkness, my mind foggy, my body heavy. My hands were wired to the bed, and I instinctively tried to pull free. But Abigail's gentle touch restrained me. I looked up and my heart swelled at the sight of her beautiful face. Her eyes, usually bright and sparkling, were now dull and red-rimmed. I knew she'd been crying, and a pang of guilt and love shot through me. "Don't," she whispered, her voice barely audible. She smiled weakly and called for the nurse. Her eyes locked on mine, filled with a deep and abiding love. The nurse bustled in, accompanied by my parents, their faces etched with worry. They swept me into a crushing hug. "We're so sorry, sweetie," my dad murmured, his voice trembling. As the nurse attended to me, my parents' gaze drifted to Abigail's and my hands, still clasped together. A soft understanding filled their eyes, and with a gentle smile, they excused themselves, stepping outside into the hospital corridor.